Hey guys, it's Monday again, and I'm going to attempt to get my video out early this week. Actually, it's Sunday when I'm recording this, so we'll see. I should be able to get it out earlier as long as YouTube doesn't screw up or something. Anyway, the question I decided to address this today was how can I improve my self-confidence? I think that is a great question. And my answer to that is a simple answer, but it is not a simple process. The only way to improve your self-confidence is to challenge yourself, to get out of your comfort zone, to do things that you are so uncomfortable doing that you feel like you just don't know where to turn, what to go to. I mean, and I don't mean like to the point where you can't handle it and you have a nervous breakdown, but to challenge yourself every day to do something that is out of your comfort zone. And I think the more out of your comfort zone it is, the better. So whether that is writing and journaling, whether that is talking to somebody new, whether that is disclosing something about your eating disorder, whether that is eating in public, whether it's challenging yourself with a new food. Little things like that will build your self-confidence. When I started recovery, that was, I think, the thing that really helped me was challenging my limits, challenging my comfort zone. I started running long distance, and I'm training for my first 100-mile run in September. I've done several 50-mile runs, but I haven't done 100 miles yet. So for me, that is challenging my comfort zone. Like, I'm doubling my distance, which was more than twice as hard as doing 50-milers. And so I have anticipation about it. I have fear, am I going to be able to make the cutoff times? Am I going to be able to finish this race? I haven't had a did not finish or a DNF in any race I've run yet, but this is challenging those limits. And so one of my fears is not finishing, and so starting something not knowing if I'm going to be able to finish it is a challenge for me. And I think that for eating disorder we have this perfectionism in us, and we're afraid to do things that we might fail at, or we may not do perfect, and you have to get past that perfectionism because life is not perfect. It's not going to be perfect. Recovery is not perfect. And so I think sometimes we're afraid to start things where we will get a DNF in life or did not finish. But you have to remember this. If you don't finish something or you fail it the first time, it's not a failure if you look at it as a learning experience. And so I'm trying to have the same attitude. I plan on finishing this race, but in the event that something happened, that I got injured, that I didn't make the cutoff time, in the event that something happened, then I would look at it as a learning experience instead of a failure. Because when you challenge your limits and you go to the point where you have done absolutely everything you can do, then you haven't failed. Another example is I just got into graduate school, into a social work program. When I applied for 2 different programs because I don't have the option of moving all over the country. I got rejected from both programs. Now that's a hard thing, I think, especially when we have eating disorders and we want to berate ourselves when we are rejected or use that to reinforce our lack of self-worth. But instead, I challenged one of the schools and asked them to reconsider my application, and they did. And it was a process. It took me about 3 months to finally get to where they accepted me into the program. But even if I had not been accepted, I would know that I had put every effort I could to get into the program. Now, as it worked out, I did get into the program, and it's great. I'm excited. I'm scared, and that itself is challenging my limits, because I'm taking on a role that I'm not used to, and I'm kind of role reversing, where I've had years of therapy myself, and I'm at a point now where I would say that I'm mostly recovered. I still have challenges every once in a while, but it puts a new level of responsibility on my recovery and where I'm going because of what I'm doing, and that is challenging my confidence. It's something I'm not comfortable at. But the more you do things that challenge yourself, the more your self-confidence is built. You can't sit back on the other side of the fence and say, gee, I wish I could do that, or if I just could, if I was just a little bit better, then I would try that. You have to just go for it. You have to stop making excuses of why you can't do things and just start trying it and do it over and over again until you succeed at it. That's what builds self-confidence. Practicing that mentality of positive thinking and practicing not putting yourself down when you have a failure, but looking at it as a learning experience. You can do the same thing with recovery when you have a relapse or a slip-up. Instead of looking at it as a failure, saying, I can't do this and I'm going to quit now, look at that as, what caused that? What can I learn from this? What feelings and emotions came up that caused me to go back to this because it was in my comfort zone and I felt too unsafe or unsecure at that moment. And when you do that, you will work through that and your confidence will increase. You will gain a voice. You will learn to stand up for yourself. You will learn to not let people walk all over you, let your eating disorder walk all over you. That is how you build self-confidence. So just try little things every day. Start with little challenges, things that, and keep a log. Say, write down all the things that you're afraid of doing or things that you'd like to do, but you've held back because of you have reservations and you've held back. Write them down and think of little things every day that you can do to challenge it, and those little things will add up to bigger things, and soon you'll start to challenge yourself with bigger things until you're finding joy and excitement because you're finding that there's so many things to do in life when you don't let fear hold you back. I have a lot of fears. I think fear is normal, but I can sort through things and I can say what is reasonable fear and what is not, and challenge the fear that's unreasonable. And that's what you have to do. Everybody has fear in life. Everybody has things they're afraid of doing. And so you have to start challenging those fears as you can. And so I hope that's helpful, and have a good day.